Hi, I'm Bryan O'Rourke. Thanks for joining us. I'm being visited today by a maverick. Some call him an enemy, many call him a dear friend. 35 years in the health club, fitness, and wellness business. A good friend of mine, Michael Scott Scudder, welcome.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate you spending time. So, Michael, you and I have a lot of opportunity to chat about this business we're in, right? What do they call it? The health club industry, the fitness industry?
Whatever.
35 years in the business. What are you seeing out there? What's going on from your point of view?
Probably the most significant shifts and changes that I've seen in my career in the industry. A faltering, if you will, of the old ways that we did business. And what I mean by that is really how it so quickly evolved from an exercise business into a membership sales business. And that really is the model that has been followed for 30-some years. And while that's still predominant, that game doesn't seem to be producing the results that it once did for the massive clubs. So we're seeing that shift. We're also seeing the shift of technology, of how technology, which you and I talk about all the time, has affected people, consumers, from a standpoint of alternatives to bricks and mortar. And so what I see right now is kind of this, you use the word bifurcation, I use the word divergence, and it's kind of like Robert Frost, two roads diverged in a wood and I.
Yeah.
And what's beginning to occur is that you've got a small group of very large players capable of mass marketing, capable of big capital, capable of getting more big capital, that are beginning to own this fitness membership market, and then the others that are trying to figure out how do we hang on. And at the same time, here's this other road offshooting into what we're calling wellness once again for about the 800th time, but it really is going to be subsidy, reimbursement programs, maybe not memberships initially, and obviously physician referral, which will drive that. So you've got this real neat opportunistic shift going on. At the same time, many of the operators, in fact, I would say most of the operators are like,
What do I do?
what's happening?
Exactly.
That.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's true. And tell me about that. So you just recently acquired or entered into a new relationship, the Fitness Industry Group, right, Fig?
Right.
And, I know your research, I follow your research, of course, your surveys are outstanding content that you share openly. How many people now in the fitness industry, health club facilities, are you reaching in your network now?
Over 30,000. And 90% of that are the decision makers, the people that write the checks. Fitmark does a wonderful job of getting to the instructors, and I think IDEA, Peter and Kathy, do a wonderful job of getting to the trainers and the instructors. I want to talk to the owner-operators, general managers. Those are the people that are in the trenches every day, and so that's my audience, and that 30+ thousand is increasing as we go. So.
When we talk about bifurcation, by the way, congratulations on that move.
Thanks.
I know you're going to reach a lot more people with your maverick message, which I love following. We talk about bifurcation. I know you're very close with the Planet Fitness organization. The low cost, they call them low cost providers. And we talked about, it's kind of akin to retail and what happened with Walmart and Target and how those redefined an industry.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What do you see in the low cost market? I hate using that term, but in that model, do you see that model taking a sizable amount of share?
Yes. And I want to qualify, Mike Grundahl, the CEO of Planet Fitness, I've known for a long time. He's been very gracious with information to me and really explaining the Planet Fitness model as much as he can without giving away trade secrets. And he's extremely good franchisor that way, that he doesn't give away trade secrets. And basically, what I see that they've created, that, by the way, Bally had the opportunity to do 30 years ago, but failed simply because the cost of sales for Bally was so high. And Planet Fitness figured that out. Don't have much cost of sales,
right?
You know? So what's beginning to occur, I think you and I have agreed on the term budget. I think Mike Grundall and some others, maybe the Fitness 19 people and Retro and like that, they might say value. I don't have an objection to that term, but I would call it budget fitness, because I think there's, by the way, two delineating points now. What I have established over 4 years of surveys is that low price is now, let's say, under $30 down to around $20. Budget price is $19
to 10
on back down to 10 or less, $9.99.
Right.
So we've really got these two niches in here, and if you look at a Planet Fitness store, the average Planet Fitness store has 8,000, 9,000 members. So you're talking $100,000 a month EFT, you know, with a cost factor far less than the average club. And I mean, I think one simply has to look down the road and realize they've come from a half a dozen stores 8 years ago to 450 plus stores right now, and a total, by the way, of about 900 in the pipeline over the next 36 to 48 months. Well, that's huge influence on the marketplace.
Absolutely.
I think what happened, I don't know that it was by design, but what happened is they really tapped into consumers' thinking. You know, Walmart tapped into consumers' thinking. Why do I go to my friend Bob, who's been in the electronics business locally for 25 years, he's a good guy, you know, he'll deliver, he'll set up for you, and so on and so forth, but the same 52-inch screen, internet ready, that he has to sell for $1,200, Walmart sells for $795 or less. Well, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
And I think there is that reality having to do with Planet Fitness and low-price players, if that answers the question.
No, I think it does, and so that's where you see Jim Snow at the Gold's Convention talking about their focus on the Express Club. That's really the budget model, or Blink with Equinox getting their toe in the water.
Or Crunches.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
They see it, it's an emerging segment. Then at the same time, what you have going on is Equinox acquiring Soul Cycle. You have Lifetime with their yoga on body product. Right. They're trying to figure out. That's the high end, the more experiential end. Like we were talking about earlier, the notion of these really nice private studios that are being run increasingly by people, the smaller square footage, the more highly engaged, higher ticket. What do you think on the high end of the market? I mean, we see this huge budget expansion. Do you see the niche in the high end?
Yeah, the high end is, you know, my surveys month after month. You know, I do it quarterly, so I have 4 quarters, and then I have a year end, and now I'm in my 4th year of doing those. And look, you're a numbers guy too. You start to see patterns in numbers. It doesn't take a long time. The high end market, you know, let's say the Red Larills and the East Bank clubs and maybe Alan Stephen Schwartz's TCA clubs, etc. You know, high end pretty much has a definition now somewhere around $75 a month and higher. So that would be what, $900 a year, past $1,000. They're doing okay. Their margins have slipped, but they're profitable still. And they have the facilities diversity and the management layering within a marketplace, obviously, to hang on. They're going to have to figure out how do they get into wellness. Right. Can they get into wellness, you know, in time? They get chipped away at by the low-price players that emerge around them, but they're okay. They're really okay. It's this vast middle now between roughly $30 a month, $350 a year, up to, gosh, 60, 700, you know, which is a really wide cut, right? They're the ones that are saying, where do we go?
Right.
Because look at the competition in there. Think about it. We haven't even talked yet about LA, 24. Where is Gold's going to emerge in this? Are they going to be able to do the Express Club ringing a flagship? If they do that, that'll be significant in a lot of marketplaces. And you know, and the good regionals that still are strong with their management capabilities and access to capital. So
Right.
you got a middle that's kind of
a lot of pressure.
well, it's kind of like the whole retail world right now.
Yeah.
The middle is like one of those Vegas hotels that finally has run its course, so we blow it up and it implodes on itself from inside. And
Right.
that's kind of what's occurring in the middle.
And like we talked about before that, I mean, the math, just look at the math. The cost of construction and operations has gone up 3 to 4 times, yet the price of memberships has stayed the same. It's a decline over the last 30 years on an inflation-adjusted basis. So
it's nuts.
The industry has to reconfigure itself.
What do you see? You know, I want to turn this back to you.
Yeah.
What do you see?
Well, I love that question, and we're going to go into a break here. And
Okay.
I'm with my friend Michael Scudder. We're going to take a break for a second. Then we're going to focus a little bit on this technology component,
Great.
a little bit about social media, what you're seeing out there, and some other thinking about, you know, maybe where some of this is going to end up, because it's interesting talk. Thanks, Michael.